This is going to be another round of the fourth Arthuria mock debate tournament. We have Patty Politics here. We have Cleanup Guy. Patty Politics is going to be taking the position that fruit-flavored nicotine e-cigarette products should be banned. Cleanup Guy is going to be taking the opposition. As always, we're going to be based upon who conceives. No concession is made. We'll put it to a voting poll in which you, the audience, can vote on who you think performed better in the debate. You guys will have 40 minutes for this round. You can get started.
Thank you. I'm going to open up with the statement that banning certain types of dangerous substances, albeit slight variations of those substances, is going to be doing nobody any good in terms of overall reducing their outright consumption. So banning banning but not restricting such a substance such variations of e-cigarettes is not going to lead to downright decreased consumption of them.
Is that it?
For now, yes.
Okay. Well, so my argument is that the the existence of flavored e-cigarettes is typically, I would argue, is typically geared towards children and teens. The most common reasons why children and teens even pick up e-cigarettes is by, I have two sources here: the Truth Initiative and WebMD. So 39% tend to say friend or family. According to Truth Initiative, 39% tend to say friend or family got them involved with e-cigarettes. The next most common reason is the availability of flavors like mint, candy, fruit, and chocolate. So 31% of teens actually said that it was flavors of e-cigarettes that brought them into getting e-cigarettes in the first place. And interesting enough, WebMD also has something similar. Low cost availability was 21%. Flavors were 42% of the reason why teens pick up e-cigarettes. Other reasons were curiosity, 57%, and this was for e-cigarettes as a whole. It was curiosity at 57%. There is also evidence from some studies that fruity flavors lure teens in particular into vaping longer, taking more puffs, and it encouraged them to actually stay on it. Access of teens to getting e-cigarettes in the first place does not decrease their chances of quitting smoking, despite the fact that many teens think that it's less harmful and it will help them quit actual smoking. And they also found in Britain that ads featuring e-cigarettes with flavors like chocolate or bubblegum, they appear to increase kids' interest in buying and trying an e-cigarette. Now, the ads don't increase the overall appeal, but it does increase their interest. And so I would say that flavored e-cigarettes actually is more geared towards children. We see the studies and we see the signs that children are the ones who tend to have their interest piqued at these different flavors. It affects them more often, and and I think these companies know that children are the advertisements of them, they appeal to children, and because it's been easier for teens to get access to it, for those reasons that e-cigarettes should be highly regulated, and that the flavoring of e-cigarettes should be even more so regulated, if not banned.
Okay. I do actually concede with the fact that marketing of of special flavors, fruit flavors, chocolate, whatever not, let's say delectable sweet tooth flavors are geared toward children. Yes, tobacco industry is trying to find more people to, sort of replace the dying off adult population of users. However, there is what I would like to get at is if specifically only these certain flavors are are geared toward hooking these kids for life or not. Bec- I think I think the reason is kids are even able to buy them is because the unflavored ones are able to be store bought by their their legally adult friends and whatnot. So if we have to ban one, then why not be banning for them all?
Sure, it's not a problem for me in this argument to say that e-cigarettes should be banned. I'm just here arguing that e-cigarette flavors should be banned. I mean, it wouldn't be a problem for me that e-cigarettes should be banned too. So the ability for teens to even get their hands on the e-cigarette, it doesn't get them to quit smoking. In fact, they found, let me pull up this study. They actually found that, well, number one, teens are using vapors at a record number. It's something like a reported use of vaping nicotine specifically in 30 days prior to a survey. It doubled among high school seniors from 11% in 2017 to 20.9% in 2018. More than 1 in 10 eighth graders, 10.9%, say they vape nicotine in the past year. And use is up significantly in virtually all vaping measures among 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. And interestingly, marijuana has been stable. So kids are picking up nicotine addictions, mostly from from e-cigarettes. Um, One second. There is something that I have that answers your question about how kids using e-cigarettes does not actually get them off of it. Is there anything you want to say while I look for this?
I was also going to add the point that if suppose that these flavors do get banned, there will always be a sort of a black market opening, and God knows, God knows that market will be unregulated, so people can literally poison children by including other substances in them.
I mean, I understand this is common argument that if you ban something, then there will be a black market for it. But I mean, we've banned things like trafficking, sex trafficking, children trafficking, and yet there still exists a black market for it. So should we unban these things just because there's a black market? Hello?
Um, should we unban these these things? No, we should not unban them. We should keep them banned because because these industries such as sex marketing are direct violation of human rights and liberties. For I could bring up the counterexample when alcohol was banned back in the 1930s of America. Yeah, 1930s. People got away with making moonshine, and instead of producing ethanol, they produced methanol and sell it to all their buddies. Those buddies, would then come out with extremely deteriorating health problems such as blindness, liver fail, well, heightened liver failure. And so if we don't impose a sort of a regulatory measure, instead of an outright ban, and just a regulatory measure of making it harder for kids to get any sort of drug while they're under the legal age, that would be a much more preferable than just outright trying to ban certain flavors and then having kids kind of like sniff around like rats on crack for any sort of a electronic cigarette, fruity
Well, here's the
flavor
thing.
source.
Do you think that alcohol companies are making commercials trying to appeal towards kids?
In some regard, yes, I think some of them still do.
So, like, can you give me an example? Like, have you seen one?
Well, now that you brought up adolescence in this conversation, I will bring up, for example, Miller's and Coors Light on YouTube ads. They always portray young people, let's say just before college, high school age, enjoying drinking. Although they always somewhere in their commercials put a disclaimer of, be responsible, drink 21 plus. So
Okay. Well, we have the evidence here that uh, e-cigarettes that are like fruity flavors, like candy, bubblegum, chocolate, things like that. Those things pique children's or teens curiosity, not curiosity, but it piques their as more likely to want to engage in these things. These companies, they know it. We have the study showing that this is why these teens tend to even get them in the first place. 42% from WebMD say that the reason that they started with e-cigarettes was their flavors. So, and that um, we know that the very act like taking doing e-cigarette once can get you hooked on nicotine because it's a highly addictive substance. So I have here from the cdc.gov, what is an e-cigarette aerosol? E-cigarette aerosol is the stuff that users breathe from the device. So nicotine, diacetyl, which is a chemical linked to serious lung disease, volatile organic compounds, cancer-causing chemicals, heavy metals such as nickel, tin, and lead. And we also have here, this is what I was talking about when you asked that question about them quitting, or is it, or how harmful or whatever. Are e-cigarettes less harmful than regular cigarettes? The answer is yes, but that doesn't mean that they're safe. An e-cigarette aerosol generally contains fewer toxic materials than, and however, it's not harmless. It can contain harmful and potentially harmful substances such as nicotine, which you will get addicted on if you vape. Heavy metals like lead, like I said before. And can e-cigarettes help quit smoking cigarettes? No. There's nothing approved by the FDA that it's a quitting smoking aid. There's also no evidence that there's insufficient evidence to recommend e-cigarettes for smoking cessation of adults, teens, and even pregnant women. Um, so yeah, I mean, it seems to me that these companies know that ads like candy and stuff, they do target children. It's not some ambiguous thing about, hey, when you go to college you might drink. And it's not like drinking once will always get you hooked on it, but we know that even just taking nicotine once, since it's a highly addictive substance, can get you on it. And for teens who are impressionable, whose brains are still growing, they seem to be at high risk. The trends show that teens are taking e-cigarettes more and more. They're smoking more and more. And the companies know that they need a base. With older groups dying off, especially right now during COVID, they definitely need teens to continue on with buying tobacco or buying e-cigarettes that are not tobacco products but contain nicotine. And flavoring is a huge reason why these teens go after it.
But you do realize that once they ban these flavors outright, they'll be banning them for the whole entire population. So
Yeah,
those adults will now not be able to, recreationally poison themselves to their own detriment, if they so wanted to. So you'd
to
be
be
taking
fair,
that away from them. It'd be just like taking
to be
away
fair, no one
Scotch
should.
whiskey or just higher proof ABV alcohol, just because if you get kids who drink that, they will basically just they will get hooked on it quicker than some like light beer or some wine or something like that.
So the top 10 reasons for death we have are heart disease, cancer, which tobacco and nicotine and smoking is some of the main causes of cancer. For example, bladder cancer for men, which is something that is extremely prevalent in men who consume tobacco and nicotine, are mostly the reasons why bladder cancer happens. Uh, Even in the top eight, none of them, the top eight reasons for death, alcohol is not there.
Do they
So we
control
know, I'm sorry, I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna I was just gonna ask, do in those studies, do they control for any extraneous contributing factors such as diet, exercise?
This is taken from the CDC's 2017 report. And if you want, we can go over the types of cancer that people tend to die from.
Well, I was gonna go. Does it mention anywhere in those studies that they've controlled for other factors?
Well, I will. Let me post the CDC's 2017 report on this, and you can look over that if you want to determine if you accept the validity of it.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
hmm And just to be clear, most common causes of cancer death are lung, number one, colorectal, stomach, liver, and breast. And smoking causes majority of lung cancers, by the way.
Oh, I don't. I'm not debating on the fact that it may contribute to, but just outright cause it. As I said, if it doesn't, I'm not seeing where. Okay, maybe I'm just completely stupid, but I'm not seeing
You're
where
not.
I should look for the methodology in those stats. Is there a I was going to say, is there a specific study that goes in there, or is it? I just fact sheet.
I have a question for the mod for the debate. When you ask for a concession, what does the concession have to be exactly?
They have to concede on the debate proposition that they're arguing for.
Oh, okay, okay. Would you concede to a high level of regulation of tobacco and nicotine products?
Regulation, but not the
High
outright
level.
ban. Well,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
thing. It's whoever wrote the proposition wrote it in a very interesting way. It's a
Oh, I
ban
know.
or it's
I'm just
not.
asking. Yeah, I'm just asking.
Personally, I don't mind. I
No,
would
it
never.
doesn't have to be personal. Just what it doesn't have to be personal. I mean, I don't want you to, say something you don't. You know what I mean?
I would say regulate more regulation is better, but the utter disappearance of such products is that would be detrimental. This conversation's got me thinking on actually a related story about for a different drug about the marketing of marijuana edibles to children through flashy packaging and whatnot. And I think
hmm
okay, I think the I think what happened with most of the regulated market is that the packaging has to be like let's just say extremely hard to open and hard to get at. Now, I understand with
hmm
e-cigs, all you got to do is just press a button and inhale. It's as easy as that. And it becomes a tricky question because these let's just say these kids growing up, they're not who can possibly have access to e-cigs are not stupid. They can read labels and instructions. They're not going to get infants and children under children under 10 trying to open them up and trying to get at them. But as I said before, it's just limiting you're basically out banning would be restricting the liberties of adults being able to indulge and poison themselves with these things, um, just because there's a presumption that kids will
Wait a
get
minute.
hooked
Now,
on it.
no, no, no. Adults can still access nicotine. Adults can still access nicotine.
Well, what about the
Why do
flavored
they need
flavor?
a flavor? Why do they need a variety of flavors that are mostly, as you agreed with me, seems to be marketed towards kids?
Because why the hell not? Some adults,
Why the heck so? I mean, why do they absolutely need a flavor? I thought the point of
Okay.
smoking is to fulfill the nicotine fix. Um, I thought that was or to
I've
as many
never
of them seem. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry,
Yeah.
I've never smoked, so I don't know if if the smoker actually inhales the flavor of it, but I would assume they would. Otherwise, that's false advertising.
Yeah, but what's the point of it? The point was to get a nicotine fix. You got the nicotine fix by ingesting the nicotine or however they do it, ingesting. By taking the cigarette or the e-cigarette or whatever. Why, knowing that these flavored products are pretty much promoted towards kids. It's why kids even want to get them for the most part. That I mean, why do adults need flavoring so bad?
Well, as I agree with you, the kids go for the flashy product stuff that makes them look cool, and I can bring you up an example of if I want to have just for the hell of it, I want to try something different and not drink scotch and go for some, let's just say, stereotypical fruity girly drink like what's that bottle of blue swirling stuff, hypnotic, that's got little sparkles and stuff in it. And I mean that looks extremely appealing to the younger age group. Why the hell should that be banned just because it may for it may appeal to the younger generations of wanting to drink.
One second.
So I think what we're correct me if I'm wrong, I think what we're trying to get at is what at least what I'm trying to get at is the sheer axis of allowing these products. And you're trying to get at that the products exist, they contribute to a larger detriment by hooking people onto unhealthy lifestyle choices. But then again, there are some people who recognize that the choices they're doing are unhealthy and just, consciously and knowingly just continue to do it. Why shouldn't those people be able to poison themselves with strawberry flavored e-cigarettes?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? My earphones died. Can you repeat that?
Um, I just wanted to say that we already have this electronic cigarette tobacco industry taking a certain aspect of it and completely banning it will cause those people who knowingly consume such products to just let's just say just be at a loss, and the industries that do them, no one cares, would also be at a loss.
Well, we're not banning e-cigarettes and we're not banning alcohol.
Well,
What
you're
we're banning,
banning a specific flavor of them.
yeah, I'm banning certain flavors that are obviously geared towards children. We're not banning the product of e-cigarette. Adults can still access e-cigarettes and they can still access alcohol. But if these products are created and geared towards children, then yeah, they should be banned. They and to be clear, the reasons why teens access alcohol is not because of the amazing flavors or anything like that. We don't have the statistics to show that. There are typically 8 reasons why teens try alcohol and drugs, and the biggest one is other people. Second one, yes, popular media. They think that it's cool to drink alcohol. It doesn't really matter the flavor of the alcohol. But they think that it's cool, and it's form of escape and self medication. They're bored or they're rebelling or they need or instant gratifications because drugs and alcohol work quickly. The initial effects feel good, and teenagers tend to turn to drug use because of the short term happiness. That's just how teenage brains work. We don't have any way to say that it's the flavor of alcohol that is the reason why teens access it. Rather, for e-cigarettes, it is the flavors for a great deal of the reasons why teens try to access e-cigarettes in general, and the variety of flavors of e-cigarettes.
Are you sure about that? Because I thought you said earlier that it's not the flavor that matters because they can't quite get the flavor out of the e-cigs or not.
I didn't say that.
Confused.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't. I said that really fast. I did not say that.
Has it occurred to you that perhaps these companies try to sell these products targeting the younger age group because at least in the US, the legal age for smoking is lower than that of alcohol, and thereby they can
Actually, the legal age of smoking in the United States now is 21.
shit. When did that change?
Oh, it's like this year.
Oh, this year. Oh, shit. Well, I've been living under the COVID rush for some time.
Yeah, they slid it in pretty yeah.
Well, good. Well, actually, that's good for them.
Um
They should. By the way, just for anyone listening, they should also change the U.S. Selective Service for the Army. They should change it also to 21, just so everyone. We can match up the consequences of those
how many more
of
minutes
those.
do we have? Sorry.
Approximately 14 minutes left. You can end at any time you want, though.
Well, Cleanup, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna stand my ground on this one.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you want to continue or do you want to end?
I'm perfectly
You don't
fine with.
have to
I'm perfectly fine with ending if you want to go that route.
Was there anything else that you want to?
Well, I did find a study about examining consumption of flavored and unflavored cigarettes between certain age groups, but that study does not support what I'm going for. They basically say it's preferable, but they say that it's inconclusive, that they don't exactly know what certain methods can be used to prevent um, prevent children from going down the e-cig path. I'll just
For the purpose of my position, I agree. And the thing is that, like I said before, the main reasons why teens even get an e-cigarette is because of the flavors. And if these companies know that these flavors are being mostly, it appeals to children and teens the most, they are knowingly appealing their product to children and teens. They knowingly need a new base, and they should be prevented from doing so. They should be legally prevented from doing so, and from producing something that they know appeals to children, and is one of the biggest reasons for why they even pick up an e-cigarette and get addicted to nicotine, if they are not already addicted to nicotine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to close with. Give me. All right.
Oh, and I do want to ask you something. So, do you think you agree that smoking is bad, right?
Yes.
Right. So smoking is bad, and would you say that even adults would be more likely to pick up a e-cigarette if they have all these flavors?
Perhaps.
Okay. And
Uh,
we know that e-cigarettes don't actually help you quit smoking. There's no evidence that that is true. In fact, and I just want to be clear, for teens, it actually showed that they were more likely to continue smoking, and they may even go back. They are highly likely to go back. So I would think that that might not be all that different for adults to go back to regular cigarette smoking. Would that be reason enough to ban it?
Um, sorry, I got distracted. But I got distracted by the by the chat. This is
I do
why
that.
I don't like having two conversations at once. No, Patty, not your fault. I just get
You're
a little
good.
scatterbrained.
You're good. I
Um,
do that too.
people who do like you're basically making a an observation that people who have never smoked in their life, and there's a variety of these e-cig flavors, are they more likely that to just start?
No, I'm talking about adults who have been smoking
Oh, okay. I
because
didn't.
of the misinformation that e-cigarettes help you quit. Now they know about all these flavors. It tastes good. It probably and research shows it actually doesn't help you quit. There's no legitimacy to the claim that it does help you quit. And now you have flavors, and we have evidence that they actually keep people puffing on them longer. They take more puffs. They take longer puffs, and that
Uh-huh.
they are highly likely to go back to cigarette smoking even after the use of the vape.
Well, this the way you put it makes just plain cigarette smoking a lot worse than e-cigs. Is I'm guessing that's true.
Well, we went over the CDC does say that e-cigarettes are safer. That doesn't mean it's safer than cigarettes. But I mean, thinking about that, something being safer than cigarettes, it doesn't mean that it's safe.
Yes, I concur with that. But if you get the adult who has never smoked before, but just wants to try it just for the hell of it, I mean, you have the option between flavored e-cigs and then just regular cigarettes.
Yeah, but nicotine is highly addictive and only takes one time.
Well, you're saying that is e-cigs are basically a gateway drug to just pure smoking and not the other way around.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You're stating that e-cigs are a gateway drug to pure smoking and not the other way around.
No, no. What I'm saying is that for those who have been smoking, they may go to e-cigarettes because maybe they want to quit and they've heard the misinformation that e-cigarettes help you quit, despite the fact that there's no evidence to that. People who are smoking and are already addicted to nicotine, they might go to e-cigarettes, but we have the evidence to show that e-cigarettes and the flavors don't actually help people quit smoking. In fact, it might they are actually highly likely to go back to regular cigarette smoking. And not only that, but while they were taking e-cigs, they were taking longer puffs and they were inhaling a lot longer because of the flavor.
And to those adults who've never picked up smoking, had no prior smoking habits before, but they just want to try it and they knowingly want to poison themselves, well, I guess, if you take out those flavors, now they can't.
Sure, I think that's a great thing.
Well, I I mean, I do drink, and I do recognize that, alcohol is a poison, but I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly well aware that it might take some years off my life.
Do we have any evidence to claim do we have any evidence that social drinking and occasional drinking will put you at might take years off of your life? I mean, does take years off of your life? Because I'm pretty sure that when you smoke and you do cigarette smoking or you e-cigarette smoking and you engage in nicotine, you are extremely highly likely to get something like lung cancer or for men, bladder cancer, which is not fun. I don't recommend it. Um, I don't
Well,
recommend.
I believe there's a higher risk of liver cancer or and other. was it I think hepatitis A with drinking.
Are you talking about regular moderate drinking, or are you
I
talking
just
about, because moderate smoking is a lot different from moderate drinking?
well, then it goes to the point of moderate drinking. What sort of strength we're talking and all that lovely stuff. I can give you some studies on that later if you'd like.
Sure. Well, sure. So I guess should we end it here?
Yeah, I was just gonna say my last closing remark, just one or two
Yeah, cool.
sentences. I believe that flavored e-cigarettes should be restricted, should not be banned. For the sole reason that adults who may want to indulge in occasional smoking and would prefer e-cigs over would prefer electronic cigarettes over regular tobacco can still have the liberty of doing so. As I said, just minor alteration of banning a substance is uh, is laughable and ludicrous in my view.
Okay, so I'll close with the point of e-cigarettes or smoking anything is to get your nicotine high. Doesn't really matter what flavors or whatnot. The studies show that we both agree that smoking is bad, and the studies show that e-cigarettes don't actually. They may be safer, but you're still consuming quite a lot of nicotine and heavy metals and other things that can cause serious cancers like lung cancer, which is extremely serious. And you're still at risk of things like bladder cancer and stuff like that. The thing is that flavored cigarettes appeal to teens quite a lot. Teens who smoke for a long time are setting themselves up for very bad future life with horrible, horrible things like that I said before. And they keep you puffing on them longer. You are not more likely to actually quit traditional cigarette smoking. You're actually highly likely to go back to traditional cigarette smoking, and that the existence of the good of this product doesn't really justify the effects that it causes teenagers and adults and stuff like that, just for the funs, just for the kicks. The point of it is to just get your nicotine fix. And I don't feel like the proper argument was made to me of why something more should be provided besides just getting your nicotine fix.